My scars, my testimony, my testimony. Siyatholakala kuzo zonke izinkundla zokuxhumana. Search my scars, my testimony by Nomzamo.
Sanbonani, Dumelang, hello, Lochani, Ndiribo, Zwiribo. Welcome to My Scars, My Testimony, once again, with your host, Usis Nomzamo. And please don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are there on Facebook, My Scars, My Testimony. We are also there in Instagram, My Scars, My Testimony. And also on YouTube, My Scars, My Testimony. And if you have your story to share with us, please don't hesitate to write to us and WhatsApp us. Usendele istori sakho lapho ekhaya sizoxoxisana nawe. My Scars, My Testimony. Inamba yethu ikhona lapho on screen where you can WhatsApp us. And also you can email us at myscarsmytestimony@gmail.com. I'm not alone today. I'm with the beautiful daughter. She's Dr. Queen Prophet Mapanga. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nomzamo. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I always say, my guests are beautiful. You're also looking beautiful.
Thank you.
You're looking beautiful. What a wonderful day to have you today. On My Scars, My Testimony, we welcome you.
Thank you.
So can you tell us who's Dr. Queen?
Firstly, it's a pleasure to be here. Dr. Queen is from Zimbabwe. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I'm the firstborn daughter of the late Dr. Zengeza and Sister Zengeza. We live in Kwekwe. And I came to South Africa basically for school. To give my story some context, I think I'll start by saying that a lot of the times in life, we look at people and then you see what is going on in their lives and you think it's the fault of that person. But there's sometimes hidden forces behind the things that actually happen in that person's life. And so I wanted to share my story to make other people not ignorant of the things that can happen in this world. Yes. So let me start by saying, we are three girls, like I said. My dad was a doctor, and I grew up admiring my father. So I also then grew up loving the profession of medicine. I wanted to be a doctor. Everyone knew I had to be a doctor. Even the subjects that I was choosing were going in that direction of being a doctor. So in Zimbabwe, we have 3 important exams. It's your grade 7 exams that will take you to high school. And then your O-level exams when you're in high school, which is like an equivalent of matric this side. And then your A-level exams, which is like an equivalent of first year in varsity this side. So, ngapasa grade 7. But mangpali grade 7 yami, I got sick. So it was a headache. So no one took it seriously. It's just a headache. I drank pills, but it only lasted during the exam period. After the exams, I get better. Okay, it's fine. We did grade 7. We got into high school. So my father has an older brother who got married, and this wife was never a fan of our family. So most of the things that I will share had her behind it, out of jealousy of the family and not wanting us to succeed for her own reasons. So grade 7 happens, I go to high school. While I'm in high school, my O-levels happen. The same thing happens again.
Headache again.
The headaches again. But this time it was worse because sometimes I'd be unconscious. I was in boarding school, so I wouldn't hear the bell ring. And then they would have to wake me up by maybe giving me an injection or doing something. One time I just woke up in the sick bay. So I ended up actually staying in the sick bay because they weren't sure if I would wake up or not. And this is all during the time of the exams. And these are important exams because either I can use them to go to university or I can use them to like go to the A levels, which is the next stage. So in that time, I remember I went to visit. I was close with her son, actually. We were very close. So I would always go to their house to visit. And during that time, I remember she said to me that, you won't amount to anything. Girls like you never become anything. But then I was young, so I didn't really care. I was just like, okay, whatever. And I left it like that. And after one of the times where I woke up unconscious, my mom came to visit me. And it was the first time I think I saw my mom crying that, okay, you've been okay all this time. So why all of a sudden we are gula and it's your exams? We need you to actually do well in this so that you'll be able to, go to school. And then from there, I started pushing myself. Even if I wouldn't be feeling well, I'll try and study and I'll write the exams. And through God's grace, I actually passed those exams. And I passed so well that I even got accepted to study medicine in Australia at the University of Western Australia. So out of excitement and ignorance, not knowing, we start telling the family, Esther's going to Australia. Esther's going to Australia. We start preparing the paperwork, everything. The last stage was the visa stage. While that is now happening, I start having those headaches again. But this time they are so bad, so I'm at home. And, okay, at home, the neighborhood where we were staying, it wasn't yet very developed, but it was in the suburbs. So we had a security guard. This security guard, he was in the apostolic church and stuff, so he used to dream. And then he came to my mom and said, I had a dream about your daughter. She was writing exams, Wagula, and I can see that it's a woman in the family who is causing all these things. So that was the first time it was revealed to everyone in the family that there's actually someone fighting against our progress as the children. Okay. Then my dad is like, I don't believe in those things. So he told us that, no, tell her to wash her head with cold water for 5 days. She'll see that the headaches will go away. Because now sometimes I would start forgetting. I can know something. I can know that I saw Nomzamo today. Or I can be looking at you, but then maybe I won't remember your name, Okay, fine. I did that. And then we carried on with life. I got better. I went back to school. I got accepted into high school as well to now do my A-levels. So there's Australia and there's high school.
School now.
So the way she would manipulate things was in such a way that, like, it looks normal, this thing that would be happening. So it's easy for me to say, oh, okay, the Zimbabwean economy is bad. Maybe my dad has a point if he says, no, let's leave Australia, rather finish your high school education. So, yeah, but like, it's not alarming that I would say, oh, no, someone is causing this. Every time something looked like it's so normal, so even if I take a different pathway, it's not going to look strange. Okay, so now what happened that time, my dad was like, what if you go and get sick again and now you're in Australia? We are not there. And then you fail in Australia. That's a lot of money. I think finish your A-levels. Okay, ngakhala, it's fine. I'm not the one paying, so there's nothing I can do.
The opportunity to go overseas,
Yay.
to go to Australia. Imagine.
The English I would have been speaking today. So, I missed Australia. It's fine. And then I finished my A-levels. After my A-levels, I applied for medicine. I applied, I think, 4 universities. I didn't get into any of them. And then, so I pursued economics instead. I did economics. I did my 3 years. I finished my degree. And then I got accepted into honors. So now my parents were happy. They say, no, let's have a graduation party for her to celebrate her for doing well and everything. And we invite the whole family, of course. But then this aunt wasn't there. So actually at that time, we don't know that she's actually the one behind everything that's been happening in the family. Like, I'm only going to share the things that affected me because it was disturbing a lot of things. Every year, my dad was having an accident. Kanti only now we know that it was also because of
The
her.
aunt.
Yes. So, okay, fine. We are at the graduation party, and someone asked, how Kanti, where's, a wife? But she's sick. So she decided to stay. And we're like, okay, it's fine. When I got into honors now, I remember I came home to visit and then I went to sleep over at their place because I hadn't seen them in a long time. While I'm there at their place, I have this dream that, there was a place in the house that we weren't allowed to go, especially if you were a visitor. The kids could go, but we weren't allowed to go. So in the dream, I went into that place. When I went into that place, it was like a wardrobe. Maramang vula le wardrobe. There's other stairs that are going up in the house. So it's as if the house becomes another house upstairs that no one can see from the outside. Okay, I go in the house there, upstairs. So I would open rooms and then I would see people, but it's like these people, it's as if they're trapped in
Inside.
those rooms. And there was a door that had my name. And then I went in there and it had all the things I love. Pinky, what. So it was a place where I wouldn't feel like leaving. But I don't understand how now I was like outside. But somehow I was also inside. I was also inside that place. So, okay, fine, the dream is over. And then I wake up, I just tell my aunt in passing that I had a weird dream that there was this. And she was just shocked. But then because I'm still young, they're like, you and your dreams, you have started. So Nami, I left it. I go back to school to Joburg. That night when I got back to school, I'm lying on the bed and then I feel my spirit leaving my body. And it was as if I'm hearing a voice saying, you want to know too much. Like it's angry. You want to know too much. Ngahamba. The ceiling opened like this, ne? And I'm looking at myself there, but it's not clicking that, no, you are leaving, sister, you are going. I'm going. Then the ceiling closed, so now I can't see my body anymore. But I'm seeing Joburg, I'm seeing the lights, I'm seeing Wits there. I'm going. I'm seeing, there's McDonald's, there's KFC, until I was above the clouds. And then I'm going. So while I'm up there, I reach a place where there's like this light. So it's like I'm about to go into the light now. And then I just stopped in the middle of the air. And then this voice says, no, it's not her time. Send her back. And then, ngayehla speed, like I was falling. Then the ceiling just went like this. And then I landed back in my body. And I literally went, and I woke up sitting. And I'm like, I died, Mus. I was about to go. And no one would know. No one would. Yeah.
And where are you at that time when you were having that dream? Were you still at your aunt's place?
No, now I'm back at school.
Okay.
I'm just about to finish my honors level now.
Okay.
So I think me having that dream at her house triggered something also on her side to see that someone is spying on the things that you do. Okay, fine, it's fine. I leave it, I pass, I graduate. Ngasebenza. So now my career life
Sasolwe,
in
Secunda,
Secunda,
Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga, yes. So what would happen with my career life, I'll always work and then something comes up in the form of maybe home affairs paperwork, or you're missing this, so we must stop you for a little bit, or something just happens at work that doesn't make sense, and then I must leave. And remember, obviously, Mabak text her from home, how are you? How are things going? Even that same aunt, you'll reply freely because you're a child. You think, no, mama, she cares about me, what. Telling her the details of what is going on without knowing that actually every time I'm telling her something, I'm giving her ammunition to actually stop my life. All right, so I've tried to work, I'm stopped there. I've tried to do this, I'm stopped there. And then the time comes now where Bati, okay, let me put it like this. Her daughter was sick with some problem of the womb. Okay, then I started having the same illness at that time. And then now she got fine. So I went to a church, and then they told me that, you are fighting battles that you are not strong for at the moment, but there's a woman who's really after your life. This is the second time someone else is saying that thing. Okay, this time I tell my mom that, Mama, they keep saying that there's a woman in our family who's after us. That's why things are like. And she was like, they must reveal to us who this woman is. Because our background at home is Methodist, so we don't really believe in, or they didn't believe in all these things, yabo. So, angaya go operation, bacheka. I have the symptoms, but there's no physical evidence of the disease, but I have everything that the disease says you must have, They even told me that, no, I won't be able to have kids because of it. So, Nami, I just thought, okay. And somewhere along the my pathway in life, I received healing. And then my firstborn came. And then I got married. On the lobola, we invite her also. We invite everyone, we invite her.
She's there again.
She didn't come also. All the events that had to do with us celebrating one of the children in the house, she would never come. She didn't come. And then it just happened that Umganwake was drunk one day with another one of our relatives. And we're like, we were sitting at home. We knew we were not going to come there. What would we be doing there? Okay, so now I'm starting to see that maybe this woman is that one,
And it was painful because it's your aunt. You wanted her to be there.
Exactly. I've been coming to your house. I'm close with your children. I mean, I'm telling you a lot of the things in my life, and I just want us to have a relationship of some sort. So, okay, we got married. Fine, she's not there. It's okay. Wangbona manje, the time we were now leaving, coming back to South Africa after the Lobola proceedings, we were coming back. And then she was just like, we'll see if this will last. And then...
So the lobola took place in Zimbabwe?
In Zimbabwe, at our home in Kwekwe.
Okay, so you were marrying a Zimbabwean guy, or?
No, I was marrying a South African at that time.
Okay.
Yes, I was marrying a South African. So we went with his family, Saya, Zimbabwe. It was a nice experience because they also got to see the country and things like that. The family also got to learn culture from a different side. So, Ati Veda will see if this will last. So I'm looking at her like, why would you say something like that? But Uyazama kuyivala, and then she's like, marriage is tough, my daughter. So just try your best, try your best. But whatever you can do. But I think it's because she saw that, no, I heard your first statement, and I think I heard it clearly, that this wasn't what you meant. Okay, fine. We're married. I now a housewife at that time. I've worked and worked and worked, but things don't always seem to come together, bazothi bafuna logo, na logo, and it just wasn't there. And silly me still keeps telling the same person things about my life. If she wasn't asking directly, she would use her kids to come and ask. And because I'm close to the cousins, obviously I'm going to explain in detail more to my cousin than
open up.
Umama. Yeah. So, yeah, we went through that phase. While we're going through that phase, now, because I've been healed, that stomach thing goes back to her child. I don't know how maybe they were doing the transferring of these things from person to person. If you have flu, ne, it will jump to me, and then I will carry it for a little bit when I was right. But the minute we get deliverance, it comes back to you. Like, that's how things were just taking place with all these things that were happening.
It was more like a spiritual thing.
Yeah. Actually, we've now come to find out that she belongs to the marine kingdom and all that. So it makes sense now, years later. But before making sense, it hurt a lot because there's a lot that we've had to fight and go through without understanding why. You understand? Yeah. So, okay, in this marriage that we had, things didn't work out. I asked my father if he can take me back to school. And so I was like, let me try for the last time to be a doctor. I applied to University of Pretoria, and then I got in. When I got in the second year, that's when he filed for divorce. And then we separated officially. So in the year that we separated and got divorced, one of her children then also now got married and started, and everything was now going well for them, which was great. For us, we didn't care because we were not looking for those things. You understand? We were just living life.
But doctor, were you not hurt remembering the words she said to you, Uguti, we will see if the marriage is gonna last. And then now when you are getting a divorce, and then
Umonye
omunye uyashada ngapha and she's getting married.
At that time, we didn't know that that's how it's actually going. All of these things were revealed actually recently. And yeah, I think, let me say, in the past 3-4 years, that's when it became clear that, oh, this is what was happening and why. Yeah. We didn't know. So you see why I was saying, like, something will look normal. You're going to say, no, this is not working. The distance is affecting the relationship. What. And then you break up. But actually, there's something that is cooking behind all of the things that are happening. So after a while, now I'm back at school. But now I'm back at school. I'm divorced. My children are in Zimbabwe being looked after by my parents. I'm feeling like a failure because I couldn't keep my home. I'm in school. I don't live with my children. I'm not working. I'm dependent on my father. It was really hard. Like, that's the time I knew how to seek God for myself and to hear God for myself and understand life for myself. I won't wait for the next prophet to come and talk to me because I want to hear it first before you come and confirm for me. So that time, my friend, it was bad. I could be hearing voices. I was having very bad nightmares where, like, it almost felt as if I need to hit my head against the wall just so that things stop in my head. But I can't tell anyone. If I call home and I tell them that I'm not okay, it means that now I must stop school. And I'm pursuing the very dream I've been running after. But it took me 10 years from finishing high school to actually getting into medicine. So I wasn't going to let it go at all. So I almost got hospitalized. I've never actually spoken about that, but I almost got hospitalized. I stayed actually for a night, but then I told them that, listen, the people who were there, hey, they really need to be there. I was like, girl, suck it up. You'll be fine. And then I left. And then I was put on very strong medication. So I had to bear with that medication and angna support from anyone. My family thinks I left my marriage. The church thinks I left my marriage. Actually, a leader there once said to me that, and I don't think I've ever forgotten this statement, Shem, that you'll never be loved by a man. They'll just be after your money because now you're going to be a doctor. So just realize that you're going to just be a professional prostitute. This is from a church leader after the divorce and stuff. So I saw that, this church thing is not going to work. Family is not going to work. It must just be me and God.
No support at that time.
No. I had one very close friend, actually. But you can't always bother someone with the same thing all the time.
You needed a way to heal on your own.
Yeah, I think that's what was happening at that time. It was a way to heal, a way to start seeing, a way to start growing up and understanding life. That you need to now start fighting. Stop being, I'm not going to lie, the way we grew up at home, we weren't spoon-fed, but we were spoiled. I can just say, Daddy, there's a project happening in Paris. Can you please pay for me? You'll shout, and say, hey, the money. But he's still going to pay for me. You understand? Now I have to do everything by myself. There's no one to just give you. Okay, it's fine. I moved past the medication. I healed. I put things together. I found part-time jobs. So even from home, they noticed, okay, she's not asking for money anymore. Okay, surely things should be going well. During that time, I also put in my application for a permanent residence because I wanted to work here in South Africa. Man graduator, I estimated that timeline is enough for me actually to finish my studies and iphume nayo a permit. Okay. And then there's also something called a critical skills permit, or was. It was also there. So either way, I had two backups. I'd be able to work when I finish. Now, in our 5th year, we become student interns. So it's a new registration. You have kind of finished your degree, and now you're being taught the practical before you go into government. So I send on the group that, I send a picture of my new badge, everything. And I literally heard a voice saying, she will never work as a doctor. Ne? So I thought it's in my head. Okay. Now, we push past that. I start my student internship. Everything is going well. Everything is good. 6th year starts. Government changes their rules and regulations, so they cut critical skills permit for doctors. Now I'm like, okay, let PR I got pull me. I've been waiting for like 5 years, 6 years by then, and it's not yet out. This one has been cut. This was my way for me to actually start working. Okay. And then I went to Mbalenhle to go and visit that side. While I'm walking in the street, I had actually gone to buy a chicken, those hard body chickens. Okay. I'm walking back. I meet this man and he's like, yes, okay, yeah. I thought he wants directions. So I just naturally am friendly and want to hear what he wants to say. So he's like, no, I'm a prophet from Limpopo. And God told me that I need to tell you to be careful because you're about to fight. I'm like, who am I about to fight? And then he's like, there's a woman in your family who is fighting against you. You're about to finish school, right? I'm like, yes. It's like, yeah. And there are words that she has spoken that you are never going to work. That's when I remember that, that thing was actually something I was hearing. You're never going to work. And do you want me to show you? He's holding a backpack. Do you want me to show you? And I'm like, show me how. He's like, I have a glass ball. So all we will do is open my bag and the image of the person is going to come on the glass ball. This is not a Nigerian movie, my guy. So I'm like, you know what? Thank you very much. Let me go and pray. I believe in prayer. He's like, okay, my sister, but just be careful. Okay, he goes. And then I told my sister, my little sister, that, this happened. What. It's fine. We pray about it. We laugh about it. But at the back of your mind, you just keep asking yourself that, so what if I had looked in the bag? What was I going to see? Okay, and I came back to school. The critical skills is cancelled. We start applying for internship now. There's nothing about the PR also. I apply for internship. People are getting in. People are celebrating. Now I'm just there. Like, I don't know what's going on or what the next step is going to be, what's going to happen. But I'm like, no, let me just trust in God. So then that's when they started looking for students where I'm working now. And I got a job. And I started as a student there, and by God's grace, I've been promoted until I've become permanent, and I'm still working there even now. But it was still that thing of, I want to do my profession. It just feels like I keep fighting to do the very thing that just belongs to me. Yeah. So, okay, that is sixth year. When we finish our sixth year, we do what is called an oath taking, where you going to declare that I'm a doctor, I pledge my life to the people, what. So luckily that thing was online. So I got to actually send it to my family, and they watched and they sent videos and stuff telling me that they watched. To be the new Dr. Zengeza Jr. was a pride for me.
Yes, girl.
When
I am Udokotela. Guys, she's
Yo.
a doctor.
when other people tell me what my dad was saying, you can hear the pride in the words that they are expressing. Okay, fine. So now the next step is for me to work. I've spoken to him about what is happening to my dad, that, okay, no, I'm having challenges with this and this and this. He says, it's okay. I will assist you. Wherever you want to go, I will help you. So don't worry about it. If South Africa is not going to open up, another place is going to open up. And then January comes the following year. And I remember it was the 8th of January. We were, actually the day before, he called me in the evening.
Dad.
Yeah, my dad. He's like, I want to speak to the girls, because the girls had come to visit. I want to speak to the girls. So he, we talk, we laugh about, I'm at a wedding, what. And he wants to tell the girls that I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to come and fetch you guys at the airport. But the girls are at my place. So we get to my place, and then I call him back. And I'm like, So when I called, he didn't answer. So he texted and he said, I'm already in bed. And at the house at home, the Wi-Fi doesn't catch nicely at the bedrooms. It's only in the lounge. So he was like, I'm lazy to go back to the lounge. Tell the girls I'll see them tomorrow. So Mina, I didn't tell the girls that Daddy will see you Kulu will see you tomorrow. I was just like, let them be surprised. So we wake up in the morning, we get to the airport. While we're at the airport, the girl's father is signing the forms because they travel alone. So they travel with assistance. So while we're there, I see he wrote my aunt's name on the person who's going to collect the girls. Okay, I see it. And then I keep quiet. But then it's eating me up. So I'm like, why did you write her? my mom said they're going to fetch the girls. Okay. Now we are about to leave. So we're walking to the car. He's walking with us. We're going to the same place. I know he didn't park in the same place as we did. So now he's like, no, I need to speak to you guys. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, oh, no, the reason why I wrote your aunt's name on the form is because your dad passed away this morning. How? So I'm holding the baby. I give the baby to the dad. And then I walk in the parking. We're in the parking downstairs at the airport. I walk there. I come back. How did he die? They said he was stung by a bee. Oh. And then I laugh. A whole doctor died of a bee sting. Like, couldn't he find something better to die of? I walk. I'm like, no. I call my sister, my little sister. She's studying medicine in Hungary. So I call her. I can hear she's screaming. Then I know that, oh, it's true. He's gone. It didn't click at all. We went to the funeral. On the way back to South Africa, I think that was the first time I cried. I could see everything. There's the coffee. Everyone is here. Oh, okay. All these things are happening. It wasn't coming in sight. It hasn't really, but, And then came the anger now. I did all of this because I wanted him to be there when I'm walking on the stage at my graduation. And now he's not going to be there. All the money that he actually spent saying, my firstborn is now going to be a doctor also. He's not going to get to see that. Like, those sacrifices and everything. When I got divorced, my dad was like, I will look after you. Don't worry. I was a daddy's baby, even though they're still the second born and last born, but me and him were just different. And now I can't even be there to say, yo, we did it. I know my mom is proud, but the way he would have appreciated to see it was going to be different. Okay, so now if I rewind and we go to the funeral. While we're at the funeral, there was a family meeting that happened, and then my gogo was like, this guy didn't die natural death. Something happened, and I want to go and find out. And then these two people are like, no, they're the only two people fighting this conversation. And everyone in the family, they're the only two fighting the conversation. So I'm like, something is fishy here. Now, one of his sisters goes back to work. She's a nurse as well. She's a nurse there in Harare. She goes back to work. One of her patients comes in and is like, okay, let me say this first. The patient is a herbalist, traditional herbalist. So they have a WhatsApp group. So that she's like, life has become so evil. There's this child who died 2 weeks ago. He was bitten by a bee. But the other people from the other group were saying that they were discussing about it, that Shem, he was actually killed by a family member. So my aunt is like, that is so sad, because she thinks it's just a story. And because she said this kid.
Oh, he was referring to your father.
Yeah. Okay. So now she's like, I have a picture on the phone. They sent it on the WhatsApp group. Let me show you. So because she's an old gogo, my aunt doesn't want to be rude. So she's just like, okay, mama. She goes to fetch her phone from the charger. She comes back and she shows her the picture. And she's looking at the picture of her own brother. And she's like, oh, ma, this is my brother. She's like, what do you mean? The one you went to bury just now? And she's like, yeah, this is my brother. And so the gogo started explaining that, no, what happened was actually he thought he saw a bee, but they sent what and what and what and what. You know, sometimes we think we want to know certain things or have certain information, but it can actually damage you more. I think I would have preferred to know that my dad died in an accident or something else than to hear that it's because someone was jealous enough to take his life because they don't want him to keep prospering or what. And now we are left with that gap of, okay, we don't have our father. What about my mom? My sister was still in school. And while we're still there at the funeral, people are like, oh no, so now she won't be going to school anymore. That is so tough. But God has been faithful. She's actually now, she started her internship on Monday, this week, Monday. She started her internship there. My mom is doing the things. She's really pushing for all of us. I'm also working. And ever since we then found out what was happening, I learned that it's important to also know your family background and research on things that people do. Because I was then told that no, but tate like sand, and then they threw it in the air so the wind could take it. And you know how you can see that the wind is there, but you'll see by the effect of the trees blowing. But you can't really touch wind. And then apparently they had said that's how my life will be, that I'll have results here and there, but it will never really gel and be concrete. And then you start learning, oh, okay, this is how you get rid of this is how you do this and this and this. And I just want to thank God because I think my life is now at a better place. Even though the anger is still there, I won't sit here and lie and say, no, if I can see her now, we can be in the same room. No, we can't. It won't happen. But now also some of the things, I think there's now become a reversal because some things were also happening to my sisters. It's as if they had 3 children, we are also 3. So it's as if every sibling had someone that they would mirror. So if this one fails, this one is doing well. If this one now, and now the more that things are doing well for us, their own things are coming back and going to themselves. And of course, it's been hard. I think for me, the hardest part is watching my mom having to accept all those things, accept that someone else has done this to her life as well, because this was her husband and all of that. But everything has taught me to be a stronger woman. I now know how to teach my children. I now know how to be a better wife, even if the other one didn't work. I know how to do better in the next one. When I start working, where I'm working now is perfect. It's setting me up for where I need to be after I finish my internship. So even though Begazama, it wasn't working, if instead it just made me a stronger version of myself.
So you said ukuthi you're still angry with aunt. Uyazi ukuthi, did she find out ukuthi as a family she's the one who's behind all these things?
Yeah, she actually did find out. There was another ceremony of sorts. Oh, then my grandmother also passed away in the same month as my dad, but this year. So it was also one of their schemes. They were trying to renew the altar they had made with my dad, but now with his mom's blood, because they were told that she was the one protecting everyone and running everything, like keeping the family together. But I don't know, I'll say fortunately, she died before their things could work. So she didn't die because of them. She died because of her own things, yeah. So you see that they are not comfortable anymore. If it's a family gathering, they're always in their own quarters, or they won't come at all. Yeah, they won't participate in anything. I think everyone is just like that about them. You're going to get scared now because you can't trust even your own family to be there for you. And yeah, to just think your life can be ruined by people who you would have thought would be there to support you. Of course, I just touched on the basics because I also want to want other people in my family to watch this. So we wouldn't want to cause something, but it's been tough for us to be in the same room with them, to be honest. And they know, but there's nothing they can do about it. Yeah.
But we see the power of God. You mentioned that ukuthi whatever you went through, you were having stomach, cramps in your stomachs. You know, even the doctors told you ukuthi you can't have children. Yes. How many kids do you have now?
I have 3 kids now. You imagine, I have 3 kids now. And yeah, I actually, never expected for that to be something I would be testifying about. But now I have my own 3 kids. They're doing well. They are grown. Yeah. It's a journey.
Babukeli my scars, my testimony, wherever you are watching, God is able. If Dr. Queen, she had words, and if Dr. Queen was attacked by the family, the member of the family, closing doors for her, doing all the bad things. But I want to say, uNkulunkulu khona. God is able. She managed to get 3 beautiful kids. Nawe lapha ekhaya, if uthi angibatholi abantwana, I have lost hope. Ukhona uNkulunkulu. Just put your trust in God. We want to say thank you for believing in God, because if you were not believing in God, you were not going to be here. As I'm saying, thank you for believing in God. Earlier, I introduced you as a prophet.
Yeah.
Ningangishayi bafundisi. She's a prophet, not prophetess. Angisho sibabiza kanjalo, but yena, she's a prophet. How was your journey? Ukuthi after so undlule kuko konke lobuhlungu, all the challenges, and now the prophet, you are the eye of God.
Yeah, no, that one is a never-ending journey. I only now see that the dreams I used to have, the visions I used to have, the things I used to hear and think, I'm going crazy, was God trying to talk to me, God trying to lead me. I never thought I would be here, honestly, as a prophet, where people are looking up to you and they want you to say sense. No, I never had that in mind. But it's been a nice journey, because I think when I finally also accepted my calling, part of it helped me to also heal with everything that's been happening. Like, we're no longer scared. Before, we were scared and we were giving the power to the wrong person. But now I have a better understanding of who I am and what God can do through me, So instead of running away, I'm able to stand and fight. I even gained empathy. Yeah, sympathy, even for her kids. I find myself wanting to reach out to pray for them. I pray for them, but to actively reach out and tell them about God, tell them the word, so that they can break away from the cycle that is keeping them trapped themselves. Because when I think back to that dream where I was telling you that there were rooms upstairs, they were also with me upstairs. So you would find that maybe their spirits have been trapped there and they can't do anything. But if I can be the one to come and shed light, they can also be delivered.
Thank you, Doctor. Yes, Dr. Queen, what would you say to someone out there, to the viewers who say, you know, I wanted to be somebody in life, but because of the challenges, I think I'm fed up. What can you say to them?
It's easy to give up, but when you are in the Word, I can only refer to something that also powers me. When you're in the Word and you realize that there were people like Joseph who you're told you're going to be a leader, jiggy jiggy, you're in a pit, jiggy jiggy, you're in a prison. And I'm sure he was asking God at some point that, okay, which part of this is me leading? You begin to see and realize that every step of the way, even if it feels like a hurdle, it's teaching you something and preparing you for where you need to be. So all you need to do is wait for God's time. Because if you do something prematurely, you might not be strong enough to handle the challenges of what comes with that thing that God wants to bless you with. Waiting is painful. Waiting is hard. It's not easy to watch, let's say, my friends in Thailand, and they're using their doctor salary to do their lives. And now I'm still in where I am. It's not always easy to see people you know around you moving forward. But you just have to wait on God, keep praying, and be persistent. I think the key thing is to be persistent and fight, because you only get given one life and one chance. So at least make the most of it.
Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, if there is someone out there who says, Sis Queen, Dr. Queen, you know, I would love to hear more of you or share with you, maybe get some encouragement, or there are other facilities outside there that will say, we want to hire Dr. Queen. We want to give her chances. Where will they find you? Your social media platforms.
All right. On Facebook, it's Queen Esther. And then on Instagram, I think it's Esther_maps. I'm not really active on Instagram at the moment. I think I would rather they actually have my cell phone number because I'm reachable there.
You can give it to us.
Okay, it's 079-271-7610.
And also, are you there on TikTok?
No.
You're not on TikTok. Okay. So, Babugel uyatholakala ke ekhaya on those social media platform as mentioned. So, my prophet. Ungathini to umzalwane othi, you know, oh God, I have given up in life. I've been attacked spiritually. I've been attacked physically as well. But now I'm at a point where I say, I don't believe anymore. I remember you mentioned, Guti, there was a time when abazalwane, the church, was not giving you the support you needed. Maybe there's someone out there, Oti, even the church, it's not supporting me.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
Okay, you know, when God wants to lift you and to build you, he isolates you. That isolation is not always bad. It's the time for you to actually hear from him. David learned when he was with the sheep alone in the wilderness. Joseph learned when he was now in the prison alone. So those times of isolation are actually not bad. You go back to the basics. The time when I was saying I now didn't have a church and all of that, I went to the basics. I went to a church that was not prophetic, not charismatic. Bakula nehimbuku, they share the word, you go home. I was like, let me start there. Let me start with the word. So I would say to this person, first pray and reconnect yourself first with God. Because if you try and do it when you yourself don't know who you are and what you want, you're going to be confused by a lot of voices out there. Because I also went to other churches, and then the minute you get there, because you're a visitor, pasok prophesy, then they'll be telling you this and this and this, and you even get confused by what they're saying. Some of it you know, some of it you don't know, and you kind of get like a spiritual constipation. So drink the spiritual stameta, let it all come out. Start at the bottom. Just open the Bible, pray every day, and let God be the one to lead you to the people you should be with, the church that you must go to. We like to go ahead of God sometimes because we think we know, but let Him be the one to be showing you the way. I think that's what I could say and what helped me, because when you always try and listen to other voices, you will get confused.
Amen. Amen. You also touched on the topic. I'm not going to go deep. You touched on the divorce part. So there is someone out there who thinks my legs are in between. I don't know whether to leave this marriage or to stay in this marriage. I have kids. What do I do?
That is a very tough question because marriage is ordained by God. And so it must be, okay, things like abuse and all that, that one is a non-starter. You don't even need to think about anything there. Pack your bags and go, because we don't want to hear that another woman has died because of gender-based violence. But also I know that the devil attacks marriage a lot. It's not simple to just say, pack your bags and go. This person are they willing to fight for, you know, when you're building a marriage with someone, it's like a house. At what level are you with this person? Did you also go into the marriage knowing that this person, Vele, you guys are not equally yoked and it wasn't good? You know, us women, you'll be like, but I've been with him for 4 years. I can't leave this now, but there's actually nothing to show of whatever you guys did in the 4 years. Something like that. Pack your bags, my sister. You go to your God and you say, hey, Father, help me to start afresh. Because divorce damages a lot of women emotionally, mentally. It's not, these days we like to make it seem like a fashion, but it's not. It really takes a lot of a woman. We don't show it out there, but inside you are broken. You have to start again. You have to start trusting yourself again to pick the right person again. You look at your children even and ask yourself, so you're telling me I couldn't hold this together for the sake of the kids, but at the same time, your children need to see you happy. So that's why I say it's a very tough question. That one is tough.
Go deeper, woman of God. Go deeper.
No, it really is tough. It's funny because this question, it's as if actually someone really does need to hear an answer. But for the sake of the children, be happy and be at peace. Because when you are a mom who is angry or a mom who is bitter and you start taking it out on the kids without realizing it, or you start neglecting them subconsciously, yet they need that love the most. So this person really, you would need to seek guidance first from the family and from, if you have, elders. I was saying to someone the other day that sometimes we judge the elder people that maybe their marriages didn't work, some did work, but there's something they can teach you if it didn't work, that you will then know that I won't do this again. There's a lot that I can share where I made mistakes also, where I will not even dare to repeat it now. You understand? So that one, it's a very sketchy one because it leaves you feeling like you failed. And then the devil starts attacking you through that way, that you're a failure, you can't even have a man and all those things. What are the children going to do? So now you want to bring another surname. all those things. But you mustn't look at that. Look at the fact that this is your life, you need peace. You also can't serve God well. The Bible says, like, as a wife, your duties are to your husband. When you're single, it's when you can actually serve the Father. But when you're married, it must be to a husband. But let it be to a husband that you can actually submit to, where there's some substance to submit to. Yeah. A person who can be a head, not...
Sizwile, we are learning a lot. With my scars, my testimony, we are learning. Siyabonga. Thank you so much, my daughter, Dr. Queen, Prophet Queen. Thank you. But where are you now? After you have gone through all the journey that you have shared with us, where is Queen now?
Well, Queen is in a happy place. I'm happy. I'm at peace. I've healed from the divorce. I'm working now. It's funny that I'm not even working as a doctor yet, ne? But the respect I get at work and even some of the duties are as of a doctor. So I'm still getting to learn a lot of things. I'm happily married also. And I have found someone who, he just sees me. And I think that is the best part about it. It's like, it's not like marrying yourself per se, but I don't know. It's this one is from God. Like, yeah.
Amen. Thank you so much. Siyabonga babukele emakhaya for tuning in with us. My scars, my testimony. Please don't forget to subscribe and also to like and also to leave your comments at the comment section. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. My scars, my testimony. Thank you.